The drive from London to Saint-Tropez is roughly 16 hours door to door. This video will explain the journey and the cost to drive from London to Saint-Tropez. First thing first, driving from London, United Kingdom to Saint-Tropez, France, you will need to cross the channel. This means you can get the P&O ferry, DFDS ferry, or Euro shuttle, which is so much easier. And my preference. To book your Eurotunnel ticket, you head to their website, where you will need to pick the date of your travel and the number of passengers, which is very important. I have picked the busiest time to travel and the hottest time in Saint-Tropez. Two passengers to travel as well in the car, which I will fill in the details in the next steps. You need to put your car number plate and the website will automatically recognize your car. You will then have to choose what fuel does your car run on. Roof accessories or a trailer is the next option before you picking your country of residence. It's best to take an early train, let's say around 5 a.m. as you have the whole day to drive ahead of you. You can also see that you have the options of upgrading to Standard Plus or Flexi Plus. This gives you an option of refund or being able to visit the Flexi Plus exclusive lounge, which in my opinion is not necessary, and your return ticket to be towards the evening around 9 p.m. as you will be driving the whole day again before you get to the Eurotunnel terminal. Once you've picked that, you then need to complete the rest of the form. You will have the option to upgrade to Flexi Plus again. On this page, you have the option to add insurance as well. I have personally not taken any insurance directly from them, as the cost is a lot more than any other insurer company which you can take separately. On the final page, you can see the summary of your trip and your total cost of the ticket. Few other things you need to do before traveling to EU. You need to let your car insurance know that you are driving your car in EU. Even if your policy covers EU travel, you still have to let them know when you will be traveling to EU. Some policies will ask you to pay a fee and some don't. My previous policies didn't involve any fees, but my current policy is £2 per day, 7 days minimum, and an admin fee of 20, so not a lot in general. Another thing you need to consider is European car recovery. That's usually anything from £30 upwards for roughly 2 weeks of stay. Make sure you use comparison websites to get the best deal. You need to also carry high-vis jackets for each passenger and warning red triangle with you. This must be inside the car and not in your boot. Lastly, your number plate must have the UK sign, or you must buy the UK signs and stick it on your front and rear bumper. We left at 2:30 in the morning from central London. The journey is around an hour and 30 minutes that time of the night, meaning we get to Eurotunnel at 4 a.m. Advice is to arrive at least 1 hour before departure, and our train being at 5:20 a.m. gives us enough time to grab a coffee and go through security and pass control. After security and pass control, you can drive to the platform, which can take roughly 10 minutes to load, and for the train to start moving. The crossing is 25 minutes and it takes roughly 10 minutes again to unload. On the train, you can get out of the car to stretch your legs or use the bathroom. But time goes so quick that you won't get bored whilst crossing. Remember, it's an hour front in France, so with the crossing time, you get to Calais at 7 a.m. and you drive out of the train and you are on the main motorway within less than a minute. The next thing you need to worry about is tolls. French motorway tolls are kind of expensive and far too many of them. From Calais to Saint-Tropez, you are looking at around £130 of tolls. Majority of them accept English debit cards and all of them accept credit cards and cash payment. However, bear in mind that usually the queue for cash payment and card payments is slightly longer than usual. Paying by cash also means you will end up getting so much change back by the time you arrive to the south. What does the T sign means? We discovered that you can register on these third-party websites and apply for a toll tag that will allow you to drive through the tolls where the queue is shorter, and you can simply charge it to your account. These tags will have different charges, which means you will pay slightly more than if you paid by cash or credit card. However, from experience, you will save at least 30/45 minutes not having to queue up and deal with the hassle of cash or card payments. The drive from Calais is around 10 hours straight. However, as you will have to stop for petrol. And food, you will add roughly another 2 hours, so 12 hours in total. Leaving Calais at 7 a.m. means you will get to Saint-Tropez for around 7 p.m. That means you started driving at 2:30 a.m. and arrived at 7 p.m. You need to also remember the speed limit is different in France. Usually during the day and dry weather, it's 130 km, which is roughly 80 miles per hour. And when dark and wet, it's more around 110 kilometer, which is around 70 miles per hour. Remember to carry your V5 for the car, or if the car is leasehold, or you borrowing it from someone, you have a letter stating that you are allowed to drive the car abroad. Lastly, you do not want to speed too much or lane hug, as the French police will take it very serious. You will be fined there and then, and you will have to pay the fine immediately.